The money that the federal government are allocating to them, since, how are they spending the money? These are militants, are they taking their time to find out how this money has been utilized? Is it some people are corner the money and using it for their own personal interest and now leaving the community, the oil producing community the way it is? And then the government are still keeping giving them money and then they did nothing. And then the militants have made mistake. In the essence that they carry the arms and beginning to bomb and then do all the advocacy without not going after those people collecting the money in the name of develop the locality, in the name of developing the area, without doing nothing. They should go after those people collecting that money without doing nothing. It's not that you should carry them and kill the innocent people. Thank you, God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay.
See, starting from Mr. Norman.
Yes.
You know, Mr. Norman was, in my own view, trying to justify the kind that's going on, that if people see what goes on there, you will be able to sympathize with what is happening. But it means the last caller from Dokwemu has actually put the point succinctly. You know, if we are talking about derivation, yes, we know that oil, you know, is gotten from that region, and you're saying that the villages were not really, you know, attended to. But we know that this is not a recent agitation. It has started from the days of Azikadaka Boro up to the time of Ken Saro-Wiwa and the rest of it. But things were not so destroyed as we are seeing now. Two wrongs can never make a right. You want derivation. Lagos State is the government is generating a lot of money from VAT, and that's from Lagos State. And we are not getting the kind of a corresponding, you know, returns from the federal government. Should we also say that we should go out? And if you're talking about development at times, man has raised, the federal government's in and out has been trying to, you know, reactivate and revamp, you know, that particular area with allocation this, allocation that. What do we hear at the end of the day? It is one allegation of improper disbursement, improper utilization of this fund. We should be able to look inwards now. If you say that attention has not been drawn to your area, should the next thing be now destroying things that will ground the economy of the country, affecting common people? What we need to do is to look inward, assess ourselves, what happened, why was Ken Saro-Wiwa and the likes, why were they executed? They were executed because they were trying to do a kind of cleansing, internal cleansing of what has been, you know, what has been the bane of their development. They discovered that some elders were, you know, compromising, you know, their struggle, and they tried to say, okay, we will try to discipline or to take laws into hand. It's a kind of internal strife that led to there. They are looking backwards to see, despite this struggle, why are we not achieving? We can't just continue like this until we say, okay, we break in. There must be an end to this. What has been happening to the effort, to the successive federal government in addressing this issue of the Niger Delta?
Okay, all right then. Abel is on the line from Delta State. Good morning, Mr. Abel.
Yeah, good morning. Now to contribute on this issue.
Please go ahead.
Particularly, I want to know, the Niger Delta Avengers claim that are they responsible for that local community attack? Why are they calling the Niger Delta Avengers? If they have some issues within them with their community problems, they should go ahead and solve that. But it's not everything that we have in this country they'll call the Niger Delta Avengers, the Niger Delta Avengers. What the Niger Delta Avengers have to do with the local community in Lagos and Ogun State? So I don't see the reason why I call it Niger Delta Avengers. So if they have any single issue with them, community problem here and there, they should try that it's not Niger Delta Avengers. The Niger Delta Avengers claim that they're responsible for the attack. Why they call it Niger Delta Avengers? It doesn't mean that you see Niger Delta person there living that place. I know very well Niger Delta people, they are travelers, they are everywhere.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that you see them there, you now say because Niger Delta person is living this place,
all right,
they are responsible for the attack. They should look very well. Then secondly, the last caller that called for, after the Malodon call, there's one guy that called. See, in my community, I think they're going to work for the community. You know how many first staff there? We don't have community staff as first staff. In my community, according to the government, Ogulara community, the first staff are operating in Ogulara community, Secretary Terminal. There is no, how many of us are staff there? You see the Yoruba, you see the Hausa, you see the Igbos there. Those are things that do happen in this Niger Delta. So there's not that you should be start claiming that whatever attack that happened in the country is Niger Delta Avengers, is militants from the Niger Delta. Please, it's not every time you call the Niger Delta people that they are responsible for every attack. So
all right then.
Very well.
All right.
Please.
All right, Abel. Abel, thank you very, very much for calling in. And just to point out that you are the first person to use the name Niger Delta Avengers on this program. We have said what you have heard. We don't know. We weren't there. And so people say suspected to be, which is far from saying categorically that any one person did anything. But because of all sorts of things surrounding the issue, perhaps you'll be a bit more understanding about the terminology, elements suspected to be Niger Delta militants, which is quite generic, but you have specified into Niger Delta Avengers. We didn't even go there. But without prejudice to that, thank you very much for your call. And we also hear what you are saying. Even in the studio here, if you were listening, it has been said that there is criminality separately going on, just about in any society in Nigeria, all over the place. And so whether these ones, this incident now joined with those, it remains to be seen. Whether indeed they are Niger Delta militants, no doubt investigations are underway. We will know in the course of time. But nobody has said categorically yet that they have identified, or have they? You would be in a better position to know.
Well, like I said when I started, from what we gathered from the news, you know, people suspected to be, and we cannot assert it.
Yes.
We cannot assert it, but what we are saying is that from the reports gathered,
I beg your pardon for interrupting you. I understand all that while somebody else was holding on, so let me not lose him. Mr. Mahmoud from Ikoyi, good morning. I was too late still. So sorry about that, Mr. Mahmoud, but wanted the other call to land. If you could just call back again, we'll see what we can do. Thank you very much.
So like I was saying, you know, that area is an area that has been reported severally for pipeline vandal, Arepo, Lekpete, Imuti.
Exactly. There have been precedents.
So there have been precedents of these. So if anything, and at the time, a joint patrol of the police, the Nigerian Army, naval officer, took charge of that area up to Majidun area, you know, trying to sanitize that place and stifle that kind of activities in that particular place, especially around Ishawu area. And you know, you even recall that there was this case of reported security personnel missing, about 7 of them thereabout. So that place has been known for that kind of a thing, and that's the area where this thing is happening again. We are not there to ascertain who did what and who did not.
What
do
we are concerned with is securing the area.
Security of the area, who could have done it. So what we gathered from the news is what we are trying to say. If it has been, let us assume, assuming these activities was carried out by these people, what will have caused it?
Okay.
And nobody will, generally, even outside this country, people sympathize with what is happening in the Niger Delta area. How will you be generating something from somewhere and you don't develop that place?
Mr. Dedeyi from Ikeja, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle. Good morning to the panelists in the house.
Thank you for calling.
From what I got to know, in that area, criminality has always pervaded the Korodu communities and the Ogun communities because of oil bunkering exercise going on. So this is not just happening today. It's just that this recent case involved the loss of quite a lot of lives. That's why all these eyebrows are being raised. And from what I also gathered, there are some militants invaded those areas to avenge the death of some of their colleagues. So, but what I want us to get at, why has it been impossible to ensure the protection of lives and pipelines in that area? What is there a form of witchcraft or something beyond the ordinary that is making it impossible for that area to be protected?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dede.
I want to know, because I learned that the DPOs and the task force people in that area, all their commanders are multimillionaires, because of the proceeds of crime. So if any major effort has to be made in that area, these people have to be held responsible.
Yes, but Mr. Dede, that sentence you just dropped, you don't have any proof for it. Thank you very, very much. Mr. Dede doesn't usually speak like that, but maybe he was angry today. That's not Mr. Dede. He couldn't say what he said, that the police commanders, military commanders are all millionaires because of proceeds of crime. But we understand, so we discountenance that part of it.
Sorry.
But it's a very, very important question that he asked, and I was going to ask it. What is the seeming impossibility of securing that area so that we can know we are safe? Okay, you want to take a stab at it? One moment, sir.
What really happens is that some years back, I think that was 2002, when I commissioned my office, right? Babaja Konde, the first civilian governor of Lagos State, he preferred a solution to Nigeria's problem, among which he said, I remember, right? X-ray the country's infrastructure very well, put everything in place, right? Empower Nigerians, at least to a level, you get my point, rather than wasting money on security gadgets, right? Which can crumble anytime. Because there's a balance in Yoruba land.
Okay, I get you.
My point.
I get you. But one moment, sir.
Right?
I beg your pardon. I have these calls and I don't want to lose them. Mr. George from Ikeja, good morning, sir. And thank you for holding on.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Uncle Yori, the gentleman that called from Warri,
yes,
that was advocating for Niger Delta Avengers, he has to understand that Niger Delta Avengers is not the only militant group in the Niger Delta. We know that there are several other groups, so you cannot categorically say this is the group that did it or this is the one that did it until investigations are conducted and verified. Be that as Uncle Yori, when people are talking about negotiations, I have to advise the government that which group are they going to negotiate with now? There are several groups. I do not advise the government to negotiate with any militant group. Instead, they should negotiate with the leaders of all the communities in the Niger Delta with a view to doing what I can call direct investment or direct projects in the Niger Delta region. They should bypass UNPADEC. They should bypass NDDC and all those agencies that have been used in the past that did not bring results and bring development direct to the communities. That is the discussion I expect the government to have with them. These militants, you cannot do they are not meaningful. You can't have any meaningful discussions with them. Then, secondly, Uncle Yori, please, I'm aware that Lagos State and the Southwest was not developed with federal government money or money that came from the Niger Delta. There's no reason why Niger Delta militants for them to make life miserable for residents in the Southwest. Please, Uncle Yori, help me invite Joseph Eva, who we know to be their leader in Lagos. We want to talk to him on television to answer some questions.
All right,
Thank
then.
you.
Thank you very much. We noted that particular request.
The issue has been captured. Mm-hmm. You know, nobody will say what is happening in the Niger Delta is not of great concern, you know, as for development of the people, because the primary responsibility of any government is the security and welfare of its people. And I think from there, we should now look inwards, in addition to the last suggestion, to review and investigate further, because the moves by the government so far in setting up different bodies to ameliorate the sufferings of the people in the Niger Delta is to cushion the effect of the previous neglect of that particular area and bring succor to the people with a view to reducing or avoiding this kind of things we are seeing. If the effort has not yielded any profitance, before going for any other method again, let us review that, bring those who have made things impossible, let's bring them to book as a kind of deterrent, you know, to those that will be charged with such similar responsibility there. And in asking why the problem in the Ikorodu axis have not been resolved, I would say the same reason. The same reason that makes it unsolvable is the same reason that has made the activity of Niger Delta to persist. Because what we are talking about is a group of people from the creek in an particular area where you have pipelines, you know, for fuel, are there doing some activities. So if the issue of Niger Delta has been able to be tackled effectively, I am sure we will not have it in Ishao. So we cannot isolate that area without talking about the genesis of the whole problem. So if it persists in Niger Delta and Nigeria has not been able to bring it under control, that area, Ishao area, is just a part of the larger, you know, crisis. And once we tackle the genesis, of course, we'll be able to tackle that. I know the government is doing well, but at that time, it was a serious battle in that area, and the activities were curtailed until recent times when it rise up.
Femi Ikorodu, from Ikorodu, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Shegun, I beg your pardon.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You wasted my time a little bit, sir.
I'm so sorry about that.
Okay, sir. I just have two things to say concerning this issue. Number one, I think the government should try and develop those places because they are local places, they are creeks. So I can say it's easy for those people to invade those areas. Number two, the military personnel that were stationed on those places, if possible, the government can be changing them every week.
Okay,
so that
I get what you mean.
They will not be corrupt. So that was my little contribution, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Noibi, you're a, you know, an advocate of negotiations. As you know, that also has its own drawbacks because, and you had said, among other things, that instead of wasting money on security gadgets, there must be coercive force for authorities to use. Otherwise, if everything is based on negotiations, you know that people can be unreasonable and say, I no go giri, that's all. I don't want no proving, I just no go giri. So what I'm saying is that I was a bit taken aback when you said instead of wasting money on security equipment.
Yes. You know, what really happened is that, you know, when I was growing up in Lagos, right, everybody is a brother's keeper.
The brother's keeper, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And secondly, you see, for instance, in 2011, early 2011, I think January, when the previous administration introduced removal of fuel subsidy, it was widely attacked.
Okay.
Right? But this time around, when this government, you know, cosmetically introduced it from 8650 to 145, right? People tried as much as possible to endure it.
Okay.
Because they have confidence in this government.
Yes, okay.
Right? And judging from the branding of Mr. President and the vice.
And the antecedents.
Right. And the antecedents. You get my point. So you don't take people for a ride. Okay. You see, things come out.
You carry people along.
You carry people along because
you communicate with them properly.
Exactly. There's a disconnect.
Okay. Mr. Momo, calling in from Maryland. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please go ahead. Thank you for calling in. Something just happened to your line right now. Yeah, I guess that might happen. So that's the context in which you...
Apart from that,
yes,
you get my point. You know, the village house meeting is doing a lot to solidify people's confidence.
But you see, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Right.
I saw you nod in approval when Mr. George suggested that rather than negotiate with any suspected militant, perhaps go back to their communities and the leaders there. And this would sort of square a bit with, I think it was Mr. London who called much earlier on saying that the messages are not reaching deep into the communities that is giving birth to any kind of militant.
I once said it earlier at the beginning of this program. I said, our leaders want to hear something or anything palatable to the ears.
Okay.
Not what exactly is on the ground.
Okay, so the quality of information is very, very important. I think that's the point you are making.
And that's it.
That if we have good, high-quality information,
yes,
then we can work with that.
Of course.
And
there's a synergy. There should be a synergy between the governed and the government.
But there's so many communities that
will build up.
There's so many communities, as the honorable gentleman has sort of explained, that they've been dislodged, and all these people want really is someone to say to them, it's all right now, you can come back with safety. And I guess that part of it is still a work in progress, Honorable.
I want to believe, Lagos State is a very,
I was a bit surprised, I beg your pardon, I was a bit surprised when you said Lagos State Police Command, separate entity from Ogun State Police Command, and one can't go into the jurisdiction of another, whereas I understand that administratively. But when there's a crisis on our hands, when it's become an all-out war with a small w, I'm surprised that you think police people are still...
No, I'm not. That wasn't the imputation of what I said. I said that the two commands have now come together, responded simultaneously and working together. Okay. I know that the PRO, Ogun State Command, Lagos State Command, were together in the entourage of the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State, who were, on top of this matter, working, on it until they are able to achieve the present level of. But you see, far and above that, I think that the suggestion as regards, you are saying somebody to assure them.
How much longer do you think that is going to take?
You see, I don't think it will take so long, but if you say people should come back, you must also be sure that you have achieved a kind of degree of relative peace in the area. I am sure that with the step Lagos State government, with the security agencies have taken so far to secure that, the governor and those that are concerned will take appropriate step when it becomes so feasible that at least we can now say people can come back. But now people are already coming. Some people are coming back with what has been achieved. We have had about 3 days now. Some are still suffering from the kind of trauma that, and if some people will definitely not come back there. Yeah. Because if you see what happened to
if you're not an indigene of the area, you might just be scared away totally.
So the kind of threshold, of courage and pains and this fear, differ in people. But at least for the government to secure that particular place from the infiltrators, I think for now we can say that we have relative peace. Our prayer is that that peace is nationalized, that peace is sustained.
We build on it and will become sustained. Over time. Well, quite frankly, we've run out of time, so I want to thank you very much, Honorable Sanai Agunbiade, representing Ikorodu Constituency 1 in the Lagos State House of Assembly. Informative stuff that we got here. But this problem hasn't gone away. Nobody's pretending that the problem has gone away yet, but that all hands are on deck.
We're still managing it.
Yes, we're managing the situation. And thank you very, very much, Mr. Aramide Noibi, former, national PRO, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, for your contribution as well, highlighting the part that dialogue plays. The thing is that you just now have to know the right person to dialogue with, and that is a contribution that came from one of our, regular viewers, Mr. George, calling in from Ikeja. Thank you very much as well.
Before I call it quits.
And you can. We've run out of time completely, so I'm so sorry. I'll be back tomorrow, all things being equal, God willing, for a fresh edition of the program. I'm Yori Folani. Bye bye for now.